Donald Trump is running for president. Ask anybody who heard his statements over the weekend in North Carolina, and they come away with the same mind. Yes, his official word isn't due until June 16th. But when a man of his stature makes certain comments and drills away at the rest of the Republican field being a band of clowns, you pretty much understand where we're going. At the moment, we're going to the nation's capital and welcoming Newsmax chief political columnist and White House correspondent, John Gizzi. John, let's go ahead and get started here because we'll get to Mr. Trump in a moment, but I want to start right out with Bernie Sanders here, drawing 41% in a straw poll vote at the Wisconsin Democratic Party convention. Hillary Clinton, 49%. John, 8 points down. How does the people in Washington, how do they view Bernie Sanders? As a real contender or just somebody who's there?
He's the anti-Hillary. He's what Governor Jerry Brown was to Bill Clinton in the penultimate primaries of 1992, and he's what Barack Obama was to Hillary Clinton in 2008. When you're front runner, someone is going to emerge against you. Now, that said, Wisconsin Democrats are notably to the left of most registered Democrats throughout the country, and quite frankly, those who go to conventions head to the port, just as Republicans head to the starboard. My guess is that the convention reflected decidedly liberal activists, and it was only natural that someone of Senator Sanders' caliber would do very, very well.
Is it possible, though, and you brought Barack Obama coming into Hillary Clinton many years ago, is it possible that he pulls off the same kind of shocker come the convention?
Well, remember, James Baker, our former Secretary of State, said, overnight is an eternity in politics. I would have to say that the snapshot we're looking at now from the Badger State of Wisconsin will pale in comparison to an overall Democratic picture when you may have 1, 2, possibly 3 other contenders, all to Secretary Clinton's left, into the game.
It is way too early, folks. Everybody just take a breath. Exhale, because we got a long way to go on both sides. Let us turn then to the gentleman I mentioned here a few moments ago, Donald Trump. He really has, in the minds of many, all but confirmed that he is going to announce he's running for president. That's number one. Number two, though, when he starts to refer to the rest of the Republican field as a band of clowns, John, you know it's going to be entertaining when he's involved, but is there anybody inside the Washington Beltway, inside that inner circle of politicians and decision makers who really see him as an honest possibility?
Well, a lot of people have great admiration for Donald Trump, not just for what he's accomplished in the area of building and development, but what he's done very quietly for private charities and to help people. And that's why it just breaks people's heart to see him call names and stoop that low. As the former Republican National Chairman Haley Barbour said, you don't really get far when you start throwing bad names at other people and bad words. Clowns is relatively harmless in the political lexicon, but it still is beneath someone of Mr. Trump's caliber. Do people take him seriously here? Obviously, he's respected for a lot of things. As a candidate, I don't hear his name as often as people who've held office or people like Dr. Ben Carson who haven't but are established in the political dialogue.
We should point out as well that Mr. Trump also used the words that would basically discuss the backside of the human body. And he was not very nice about it as well, but that's just the way Donald Trump sometimes talks. When it comes down to other potentials here, John, there's a thinking process, and I read this weekend, that has some people believing Bobby Jindal has simply waited too long to get in the race, and no matter what he does at this point, he has no chance. What's your take?
With all due respect, I would tell those people, read a new book I'm reading, 1932, by the historian David Petruska. The young Governor Franklin Roosevelt faced 12 opponents, many of whom got in the race late as he was starting to stumble. It was not too late for anyone because, like this Republican field today, the Democratic field of 1932 was large, crowded, and unpredictable. I say it is not too late at all for Bobby Jindal, and I will predict right here with you, Ed, he will become a candidate.
And with about 45 seconds left, there are also those same quote-unquote experts who are saying that Jeb Bush is waiting too long to get involved in the race. That, I don't believe, has got really any measure of truth at all. Would you agree?
Yes, he will announce June 15th, I am told, because that is the closest to his father's birthday. His father will be 91, and his brother announced 8 years ago on June 12th, which is the actual birthday of George H.W. Bush. Not crowded at all when you consider that only a generation ago people were announcing in December and January.
Reminder once again, go to Newsmax.com. That's where John Gizzi writes and brings you everything from inside the Beltway. We have him right here to talk about it as well. John, always a pleasure, my friend. Have a great week. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Feelings mutual.
All right, take care. And let's open this up now when it comes down to you, because we're talking about all these candidates here. All right, does Bobby Jindal have a chance? Is Donald Trump basically just insulting people and not helping his cause any? And then what about Bernie Sanders? Oh, it's so early. Send us to us at newsmax.com/comments. Get on Facebook and tell me how you feel about this. And then go to twitter.com/hardline. Tell us there as well. Coming up next, everything from Lucifer to everything in between, especially when you talk about Los Angeles. Coming up next on The Hardline.